All righty. You are looking live at Sold Out MetLife Stadium where today the 16-0 and playoff bound New York Giants are taking on the 0-16 Dallas Cowboys. And why are the Dallas Cowboys 0-16? Because they suck. That never gets old. Welcome to the Gridiron. Anybody out there at all is going to spend a lot of time with me here this evening. I greatly appreciate it. Thank you. Everybody's going to spend any time watching a replay this. Once again, thank you so much from the bottom of my heart. That means the world to me. Thank you. I'm going to try to go about 30 minutes here tonight. Shoot my mouth off for about 30 minutes. Hey, anybody got anything to say? Hey, Terrence, Jersey guys, they're in their house. Anybody got anything to say? Please feel free. Fire away. Throw in the chat box. I usually try to check on the chat box like every 5 or 10 minutes or so. So, so I see something in there, I try to respond to as fast as I can. So please feel free and fire away. All right. Yeah. Before I get started, if anybody wants to help support my channel out, it would mean the absolute world to me. In the description box below. Oh, here comes my dog, Randy. Here we go. Okay, we can start now. Randy's here. Anybody wants to help support my channel, the top link in the description box takes you to my membership page. I got 3 different membership levels. First one's called the Saquon, second one's called the Lawrence Taylor, and the third one's called the Gridiron. Each one's got their own little perks to them, so if you want to help support my channel, it would mean so much to me. And I thank you in advance. Thank you. If you are subscribed to my channel, once again, thank you. I can use all the support I can get, guys. But if not, please go down below, hit the subscribe button, hit that bell icon. That way, next time I go live or I put a video out, you'll be notified. And it's free of charge. What do you got to lose, right? But if you're subscribed, thank you. And then finally, also in the description box, there's 2 Facebook links. The top Facebook link takes you to my Facebook group. It's called the New York Giants, the Gridiron. It's a group. And I say this in every video. Basically, my YouTube channel, my Facebook group, and my Facebook page, which I'll go over in just a minute. It's all called the same thing. It dumbs it down for a moron like me. That way I don't got to, what's my YouTube channel called? What's the Facebook page called? Something different than the It's all called the same thing. Makes it nice and easy for me, right? YouTube channel is called New York Giants Gridiron. Facebook group, New York Giants Gridiron. And we just reached 5,400 members. I think like yesterday, I think we were 5,300 members. So you get kind of noticing like once the season starts rolling on, the members start growing, at a greater rate. But usually once I get done going live, I'll spend like the next couple of hours putting stuff in the group here and in the page. I try to get like 10 things in there every day. Now the season's here. Usually it's closer to 15 or 20 things every day. And I said, if I'm alive and breathing, and I have internet access, there's stuff going in the group and in the page every day. I said, whether it's a video, I'm sharing a post, maybe sharing an article, there's a picture, something showing some stats on a ball player, something making fun of the Eagles or the Cowboys, which are my personal favorites, right? There's a ton of stuff going in here pretty much every day of the year. And if you become a member of the group, not only do I post stuff in here, but members post stuff in here as well. So between me and the members, there's a ton of Giants information every day, 360 on there, almost 365. The second Facebook link takes you to my Facebook page. It's New York Giants, the Gridiron. It's a page. I'm the administrator in there, so I'm the only one to post anything in there. But it's the same thing. I try to get at least 10 things in there every day. But usually, now the season's upon us, there's like probably closer to 15 or 20 things that go in there every day. And basically, I don't. I don't commingle this stuff. So basically the stuff that I put in the page and I'll put in the group. Whatever I put in the group and I'll put in the page. I try to keep the stuff separate, right? But if you go to the page and you like it and you follow it, I gotta move there we go. I'm sorry, buddy. I'm sorry. I kicked my dog, Randy. Trying to move my legs and I kicked him. So basically if you go to the page and you like it and you follow it and you go to the group and you become a member, almost 365. There's a ton of New York Giants information every day. But I always got my money back guarantee because you can't please everybody. So if you go to the page and you like it and you follow it and you go to the group and you become a member, if you're not 100% satisfied, you get your money back guaranteed. All right, all that stuff said and done and away with. Man, damn, we're 3.5-point underdogs. Yeah, jeez. Man, we ain't getting no love whatsoever. Let me tell you what, boy. Hey, 3.5-point underdogs. I don't know, man. I don't bet. I mean, I tell you what, I haven't bet since like the 90s. Last time I bet, what the heck was it? I think I lost 7 or 8 times in a row. And I'm like, get the F out of here. I'm like, it was one of the last times I bet. It was it 96? Whenever the Braves played the Indians in the World Series. That was the year. I bet some football, and I bet in a World Series game. It was only like $50. I didn't bet much because I'm like, if I lose, it's like no big deal. But I think I lost like 8 times in a row. I'm like, get the F out of here. It was so bad. Greg Maddux, the pitcher for the Braves that year, was like something like 24-3 or 24-4, something freaking ridiculous. So when it was in a World Series game, so I bet the Braves. I'm like, Greg Maddux is going. He's 24-4. We got this. Oh, he lost, or the Braves lost, shall I say? And I think I bet another 1 or 2 times after that or something. I was like, I mean, it's amazing, absolutely amazing. Like if you got a 50-50 chance. It's not like you have 7 choices. You have the point spread. Or whatever, or like in baseball, I mean, it's like, you want this team or you want that team. In football, it's 3 points, whatever. It's 3 points. Do you want this team or do you want that team? There's no 17 different choices, and I chose the wrong one out of 17. You have 2 choices. I mean, that's like flipping a coin. And keep calling the wrong number. It's like you got a 50-50 chance. And I'm sort of like, what are the odds of like going 8 times in a row, picking the wrong one 8 times? It's like, so I'm like, I had enough. So it's been whatever. It's probably whatever. It's 96 or 97. That was maybe somewhere around there. So it's been like about 25 years. Hey, I don't bet no more. But if I was a betting guy, I'd take the Giants. I would take the Giants because that's 3.5. Right now, I would lock that in because if it starts getting closer to game time, I'm going to go to 2.5 or something like that. But 3.5, that's a field goal. So the Giants lost by 2. They lose by a field goal or something like that, and you still win. So I like that 3.5. That's not bad. Jarrett Wright cost me too. Yeah. So I would lock that in. I would take the Giants and take the points on that one, especially if it's 3.5. Yeah, because I said that's a field goal right there. So they lose by a field goal, But of course, we have to close the gap. Don't forget. I mean, we were beating them both times last year in the second half. We were beating them both times, and at home when Saquon ran that one in from whatever 30 yards out or whatever it was. I mean, we were in the third quarter there. That was kind of deep, in the third quarter, and we went up ahead, and then we gave up some points and. But in the first half of the Thanksgiving Day game, into the third quarter, we were winning, right? So, what we got to do is what Tom Coughlin said. That was his mantra or whatever it was or something. He said in 2011, if you ever see a video of the 2011 Giants, you'll see him. He's talking in a meeting, and he's standing on the steps, and he's talking to the guys. That you're going to hear me say this once. You're going to hear me say it 1,000 times. Finish, finish. Finish. And so that was his saying for the 2011 season. You got to finish. Got to finish. When you got a team down, you got to finish. You got to finish them. That doesn't mean if we beat the Cowboys last year, we were going to the Super Bowl or nothing like no. But that's now that would be us like turning the corner, right? I mean, do we have to win a Super Bowl this year for this year to be a success? No, this, that, and the other. But, you want us to turn the corner a little bit. Turning the corner would be having a lead, against the Cowboys and finishing it. We don't have to beat them twice. Would be nice. We don't have to beat the Eagles twice. Would be nice. But, either you finish the game, either way, at the end of the game, you get that drive, the game-winning drive, and you pull it out, and you get the victory, or, you're ahead in the third, fourth quarter, whatever it is, and you finish, you make sure you win. I mean, that's turning the corner a little bit, out of these 4 games between the Cowboys and Eagles, we got to win one of them. I mean, I know that's not asking, I don't got sky high, it's not, it's just, can we win one game out of 4, but that would be a start. If we can beat them 1 out of, hopefully 2 out of 4 would be great. But if we can win at least one again, just to show that we're equal one of those freaking bozo teams, that would be fantastic. Absolutely would love it. But the Giants, they got their, I love it when Jimmy the Greek used to pick games and camouflage it on CBS. The gap has been closed. Oh, yeah. It's just you don't know how much. I don't think the Eagles got better. We got better. Yeah, we got better. The Eagles didn't get better. Eagles maybe didn't get worse, but they didn't get better. Of course, and they will get worse if they get injured, because they were the 4th, according to maingameslost.com last year. That's all I'm going by. All right. They had the 4th least missed games in the NFL. Right. So the Giants were the 6th most injured team. The Eagles were the 4th least injured team. So the Eagles are, they'll get worse if they get injured. They got a lot of in a lot of their positions. They got a lot of outstanding talent. They got some good depth in some positions, stuff like that. But there's some positions that you can't have Hall of Fame talent at your starters and your 2nd, 3rd, 4th, 9th, 27th, and 8th, string. You can't have, you can only be, with the salary cap, you can only be strong in some positions, or you can be strong in certain positions. You maybe have a little quality depth at maybe the defensive line or something like that, but somewhere along the line, you got some weaknesses. And if, obviously, expect or hope anybody gets injured, but if they were to get injured, there's some positions that they have would really, show some weaknesses on their part. So, but, and the other thing is, is that, it's going to be a game of, attrition, when the Giants play the Eagles, because it's all the way at the end of the season. We got a long way to go before we play the Eagles. If the Eagles lose, does Georgia drop? I think they should. Because that means their defense sucks. I guess the Eagles, hey, it's coming out from Georgia next year. All right, we'll take that defensive player and that defense. Well, that's what it seems like. They'll just draft everybody from Georgia, and we'll have a good defense in the NFL. I guess, but well, it's they got a good defense that they do, but their pick from last year and their pick from this year, if they're going to be out there on the field a lot more, we'll see what they're made of. We'll certainly see what they're made of. But the Giants, where are we at here? They rounded out their practice squad. Now, interesting. Now, this guy's been around since I don't know. I think since Jesus Christ walked the earth. And I'm not up to date on all of the other teams and this, that, and the other things. I try to concentrate a lot on the Giants, obviously, so a lot of guys like this, I way overlook. But Taiwan Jones, running back. Now he's got the connections. I don't know. This one kind of came out of left field. I'm like, who? Taiwan Jones. What? Who? Let's see. There's a connection there, right? Because he was with Buffalo 2 times. He's been in the league since 2013. So this would be his 11th season in the league. He's listed as a halfback / running back, whatever you want to call him, but he don't run the ball much. He's a special teamer. But he was in Buffalo in 2017 and 2018. 2019, he went to the Texans, and then he came back to Buffalo 2020, 21, and 22. So there's that connection there. Shane Dable, they know what he is. They know what they got in him, right? Now how old is he? He's only 35. All right, he just turned 35. Okay, but he's only 35. We got a 35-year-old guy that they put on the practice squad, a running back, a 35-year-old running back. The nice thing about it is that he has, let me show this. See what he got here. I mean, his 11th or 12th season, whatever it is. Actually, he's been in the league since 2011. I looked at PFF; they had him for 2013, but he's been in the league since 2011. Wow, with the Raiders. So he's got 12 seasons in the league. He's a running back / halfback. In only 6 of those 12 seasons did he actually run the football. His rookie season, the most he ever ran the ball in a season was 16 times. He did that twice. 2011, he ran the ball 16 times for 73 yards. 2015, he ran the ball 16 times for 74 yards. Since 2016, including 2016 on forward, he's run the ball 10 times. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Past 7 seasons, he's run the ball 10 times. In the past, 1, 2, 3, past 6 seasons, only one of those 6 seasons did he actually run the football. He's a special teamer. He's on there for special teams. That's why I was kind of like when they had their starting the initial 53. And I'm looking on there, I'm like, and with the linebackers, they only have about 8 or 9 of them. I'm like, inside and outside line, edge and all of that, 8? I'm like, or was it 9, whatever it was. No, I think it was 8, and Boogie, Carlos Boogie Basham would be 9. I'm like, man, that's it? Yeah. So that's like, what, 4 edge rushes, 4, yeah, okay, all right. But then you're looking at some of the names. I'm like, all right, Tolman Fox, and they brought his Ximines bag. He must be on there. And Beavers, he's got to be on there, right? And I'm like, no, none of these guys. Cam Brown, what? Yeah, what? Why is Cam Brown on the initial 53? What? He can't give you anything on defense. He can give you stuff on special teams. And Carter Coughlin, all right, he didn't look too bad. Pretty good in that last preseason game, this, that, yeah, okay, all right. But he can give you stuff on special teams. So they can kind of see they're kind of trying to emphasize the special teams here, which was a little bit of a weakness last year. You can notice it was a little bit of a weakness in preseason as well, the coverage teams, right? I mean, if worse comes to worse, if we catch punts and we catch kickoffs, if we don't run them back for touchdowns, it's not the end of the world. You don't want the other team kicking them and running them back for touchdowns. That's the problem. That's where you can start losing ball games, and that's why we lost the Detroit game. Guy ran the ball back. The Scottish Hammer outkicked the coverage. The guy ran it back, 84, 86 yards, whatever it was, for a touchdown. We lost the game. All right, but let's see. Last year, all right, Taiwan Jones. He played, obviously, he was for Buffalo. He played 355 special team snaps. That's a lot. Kickoff return, 79. Kickoff coverage, 102. Punt return, 65. Punt coverage, 54. Field goal block, 55. The guy plays freaking everywhere. You need a special teamer is your guy. Now, the only grade, he graded out overall is by PFF. I have no idea. I've never seen him on a special teams play, or maybe if I have, I don't remember. So, but PFF graded him out at 48.8 last season. The year before with Buffalo, he graded out at 59.7 on special teams. 2020 was at 57.7. I mean, he did have better seasons. The 1 year he's with Houston, 2019, he graded out 84.2 on special teams. 2018 with Buffalo on special teams, he was a 71.3. So, but he's a special teamer. He can give you, anything, any one of the special teams for the most part. So that's why Taiwan Jones is on the practice squad. Then the other guy they brought in, there was the skyscraper from Adoree Jackson. He's like 6'7" from the Eagles. But then they brought in Dennis Houston, who does not have, a lot of there. He's exactly what we needed. Exactly. Oh, he was a special teams captain. Yeah. So now with Dennis Houston, he played last season, 6'1", 198 pounds, Western Illinois, the Leatherbacks, undrafted free agent. Let's see, special teams. Last year, he only played 2 games for Dallas last year. Let's see. Offense. Did he play an offense in those 2? Yeah, he played an offense and special teams in the 2 games. He played against week 1 and week 2. Week 1 against Tampa Bay when they lost 19-3, I think it was. And then they played week 2 against Cincinnati. So he caught 2 passes. Oh, here we are. In those 2 games, he caught, let's see, he had 6 targets, caught 2 passes for 16 yards. So I don't know, Let's see, what is he? 6'1", 198 pounds. He's young. He's 24 years old. Looks like he was, 10? He's April 24th, 1999. So he's 24 years old. So he's young. 6'1", 198. Now, once again, I'm not sure. I mean, he can give you some special teams snaps by position. Where we at there? Special teams. I said special teams last year. In those 2 games he had 13 snaps on special teams, kick return, and punt return. And he graded out like a 60 overall. So that would be Dennis Houston. And then the other one, of course, I guess at least a little bit of I guess more depth or whatever on the offensive line, which is somebody we can certainly use. Now, Jalen Mayfield, big guy from Michigan, 6'5", 320 pounds, a tackle. Now, he played like in every game he was in his rookie season, 2021, right? He graded out, a 48.7. He was there. Well, I mean, he's supposed to be a tackle, but it looks like here he played left guard. So maybe the reason why he's 48.7, he's maybe playing out of position. But he played left guard every position. He played 989 snaps for the Falcons in 2021. And he graded out a 48.7. Not very good. Okay. He missed all of 2022. I was reading on Wikipedia. He do I still have it up here, or do I put it down there? I had it up. Sometimes I get so many tabs open. I just start closing them out. And it looks like I closed that one out. But anyway, he Mayfield, I think I read he had after his first 2 weeks of training camp or something, or maybe 2 preseason games, where he started having a problem with his lower back, and he wound up missing the whole season with his lower back. So he didn't play at all last season. So, if they put him on the practice squad, I guess he has a clean bill of health. I guess once again, he's some depth. Might he get called up? Yeah, maybe there's a possibility somewhere along the line he could possibly be some type of decent depth for us. Yeah, okay, overrule that. Have I ever watched any of his film? Nope. I'm just going by what PFF has right here. But once again, don't get, I guess, overly thrilled to death about, having Jalen Mayfield on there. But, like I said, he's got 6'5", 320 from Michigan. He's just 23 years old. He's just a baby, right? But, we got to fill the practice squad out with some guys. So, let's see here. Oh, okay, here we go. I kept an article. All right, it says this was talking about Mayfield. The Falcons have placed Deion Jones, Isaiah Oliver, Marlon Davidson, and Jalen Mayfield and John Fitzpatrick on injury reserve. Goes here. Mayfield has been battling, this is last season. All right, this is the article I found. Since last, Mayfield has been battling a lower back issue that has lingered since the second week of training camp. Okay, since the second week, not the second preseason game. Mayfield missed a couple of camp practices early, but was able to play in the first two. But he did play in the first two preseason games for the Falcons. The former starting left guard did not participate in the second day of the Falcons' joint practices last week, nor did he play in the final preseason game on Saturday at the time. Said when Mayfield again did not participate in Monday's practice, Smith said he was sick, still working through the lower back injury. It's one that has now landed him on IR, lower back injury. So it doesn't say exactly what it was. A disc, was this, was it that, was it strained muscle, something. Just says lower back injury, but it wound up, he missed the whole season. So hopefully he's back and, hopefully he's okay and everything like that. So the Giants filled out they have their practice squad, but it's pretty good because a lot of the guys that let go, they want to bring them back, which is cool. If he played for Harbaugh, he must have talent. Oh, what we got? He's exactly what we needed. Big Ten. Oh yeah, no, I mean, Michigan. Usually they got those big boys on the offensive line. That's for darn sure. They don't get the small guys, maybe small, quick, agile guys or nothing like that. They're usually huge. Line them up, mano, right? We're gonna bowl you over, right? That's Harbaugh ball. Oh yeah, remember he did that a lot with San Francisco. He would put like 7, 8 guys on the offensive line. Sometimes, he would put like crazy formations at Harbaugh, for the 49ers. You got the quarterback, Kaepernick, or whatever the running back was, maybe it was Gore, whoever it was, but you'd have like the center. You might have like 2 offensive linemen here. Then you'd have like 5 offensive linemen. Well, or maybe 2 or 3, but then you'd have a couple tight ends. So you'd have like 5 guys on the one side of the center. And then you might have 1 wide receiver wide or something like that. But just crazy offensive line alignments, I love Harbaugh, man. What a character is. Absolutely love him. All right. Then we got the Jersey Shuffle here. All right, of course, we all know Hyatt is now number 13. Dying to see, hopefully he starts writing a new chapter with number 13. Hopefully 13 is a very lucky number. Isaiah Simmons is now number 19. Deontay Banks is now number 25. Javarius Owens is now number 39. And Boogie is 45. Carlos Boogie Basham, 45. Hyatt switching from 84 to 13 is an interesting decision given the connection with the number as former Giant Odell Beckham. Beckham delivered a message to Hyatt shortly after the Giants drafted him, jokingly asking him not to break any of his. I don't know, he said any. I thought he said all. Don't break all of my records. It's in this article here. This is from Giants Wire. It says he jokingly asked Hyatt not to break any of his records. I thought he said don't break all of them. Just maybe leave me a couple or something like that. Let's see. Hyatt wore number 11 at the University of Tennessee, but he can't wear that because number 1, 4, 7, 10, 11, 14, 16, 32, 40, 42, 50, 56, and 92 off limits. So number 11 from Mr. Phil Simms is retired. So he can't have number 11. Meanwhile, Isaiah Simmons was traded to the Giants. Really? Didn't know that. Thank you. Just 1 week ago. And he joined the team. Actually, yes, right. It's exactly a week ago. Stupid me, right? Because he joined the team Thursday, and 2 days later, 48 hours later, he's on the field almost sacking Aaron Rodgers, right? Man, I'm excited to see that guy. I mean, because Wicks is going to line him up and let him do it. The one thing, and Jonathan Casillas was talking about this. Jonathan Casillas was on with Locked On Giants with Patricia Traina today. Jonathan Casillas, and he was on Big Blue Kickoff Live. So I can't remember if he was talking. It might have been with Patricia Traina. he was talking about. And he said, the thing I love is about like what Wink is sometimes it's like you get a guy, right? And it doesn't matter if he's good at this or good at that. The defensive coordinator gets a guy. It's like, dude, this is what we run. All right. This is where I'm going to put you. This is where I need you. I'm going to put you. You sink or swim there, brother. All right. If you sink there, well, I guess you're screwed, right? So this is where we're putting you. This is what we're going to need. You know what I mean? But here it's kind of like, Jonathan Casillas kind of said in a way, it's kind of like, you go up to the guy. Hey, you're a pretty damn good athlete. What do you like to do? And Isaiah Simmons said, hey, I like rushing the quarterback. And Wick's like, all right, we're going to have you rushing the quarterback then, you listen. I mean, it's not, it can't be all, it can't be, you just can't, the guy who wants to rush the quarterback, you can't, okay, you're just going to rush the quarterback. Yeah, obviously you can't do that. But it's got to be a little give and take, right? But if the guy says he likes to rush the quarterback and he's that good of an athlete, you get the guy in there rushing the quarterback quite a bit. The other thing, too, is that, obviously you don't want it to be where all he does is rush the quarterback because it's like, oh, Isaiah Simmons is on the field. Yeah, I wonder what he's going to do. Yeah, is he going to drop into coverage or is he going to rush the quarterback? Let me see, But let's see here. Yeah, this is funny, too. Yeah, the acquisition of Simmons is something fans are excited about, giving his fit in the Wink Martindale defense. Hopefully, Simmons can help fans forget about associating who? Kenny Golladay with the number 19 in a hurry, right? Rookie Deonte Banks wore 36 all preseason, is now switching over to number 25. Banks primarily wore number 3 in college at Maryland. Interesting. Well, let's see. Is somebody on the Giants? Does somebody on the Giants have number 3? Tyrod's 2? I wonder. Let's see. I wonder if. Yeah, I wonder why he didn't want to wear number. Let's see. Let's see here. Number 2023. Let's try this here. It works out better. Yep, there we go. He wore number 3. All right, roster. Paris Campbell 0, Gano is 9, the Scottish Hammer is 6, Daniel Jones is 8, Sterling Shepard. Okay. I wonder, that would have been interesting. I wonder if they cut Shep, or if they let him go, or blah, 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 or what, if they had done something like that. I wonder would he have gone in there and took the number 3. Would have been interesting. But Shep, I mean, I don't want to sound like the Grim Reaper or nothing like that, but Shep won't be here, forever. It might be a point in time maybe where Mr. Banks winds up getting number 3. I wonder if he asked Shep about taking number 3. All right, then we got, let's see here. And of course, 2023 7th-round pick Gio has claimed number 39 after sporting number 31 during the preseason. The change was expected, given that Matt Breida also wears number 30. Yeah, during the regular season, you can't run the same 2 guys out there with the same number. Yeah. The thing is, I said, is that, it's just a number, and we got Boogie Basham, who's acquired on Tuesday, will wear 45 after wearing 55 with his former team, the Bills. Yeah, as I said, it's just the thing popped up also in I know my group. Somebody, I can't remember who it was. There was 2 guys wore the same number. I can't remember what 2 guys they were during the preseason, and somebody in the group mentioned something along the lines. Was it 5? Was it what was the DeVito? Was he 5 with like Kayvon? I think maybe that's what it was. And somebody in the group, the New York Giants, the Gridiron group, said, "Why is DeVito wearing? Why do they got 2 guys wearing the same number and this, that, and the other thing?" And I just typed in also, we got there's 14 Yeah, this came on. Okay, so that's why, you know what I mean? So there's like two guys wearing the number 5. There was a couple other, Breida, and Gio wearing the same number. But the thing is just also a matter of, the numbers. There's 90 guys, right? So basically, if you have 100 numbers, because if you got 99 and you can wear 0, you got 100 numbers, okay? But if you got 90 guys and 13 numbers are retired, you just by simple mathematical subtraction, addition, whatever, you can only, there's 13 numbers you can't touch. So if you got 90 guys, they can only wear 87 different numbers. You're going to have a couple of guys wearing the same number. We got 14 guys who have their numbers retired. It was Ward Cuff and Y.A. Tittle both have 14 retired. But so we got 14 guys with their numbers retired, but there's 13 numbers that are retired. So we got 2 guys. Weird. We got 2 guys that have number 14 are retired from 2 guys. But we also have Ray Flaherty, who has number 1 retired. And just for a little, FYI, he's the first a guy, I think, could be wrong, I think, ever to have his number retired. Now, it could be just football, but I think it could be in all sports to have his jersey number retired, number 1, Ray Flaherty. So if it's not in all sports, the Giants are the first one in football to have a jersey retired, number retired. There are no numbers by position, by role anymore. Yeah, I mean, you can wear, I know that's what was it? Brady was complaining about, I mean, because, he said some of it makes sense because you're so used to like the cornerbacks being number this and number, double digits and stuff like that and all. And, all of a sudden now you're going to have guys out there with single digits and stuff like that. And it's very, very confusing, It made a little bit of sense, but in a way it does, but in a way it doesn't. I mean, that's the way they got in college football. I mean, my God, you got guys out there like defensive tackles wearing like number 9 and stuff like, it is what it is, But it's, obviously it was a lot more structured. That things are a little more lenient now the way nowadays. But it's weird seeing some of those guys out there with some of those numbers. I remember Flutie, yeah. Yeah. Nope. Now I don't know exactly when. I guess I should. I don't know, but I don't. But exactly when it really got structured. Because I mean, we had guys. Our starting center back in the 30s and the 40s, Mel Hine wore number 7. Quarterback Charlie Connolly wore number 40. I mean, you can go on and on and on and on and on with all these freaky numbers, but our quarterback from 1948 to 1961 wore number 42. Just a bunch of weird stuff. But I don't know exactly. Maybe when the AFL and NFL merged, maybe 1970 or something. That's something you can certainly look up and everything like that. When everything got struck, quarterbacks had to be like 1 to 19. And whatever defensive ends or defensive, it had to be it had to be in the 80s, 70s or the 80s. The linemen had to be in the 50s and the 60s and stuff like that and all and everything. I had to do with the legal formation penalties. I got that shirt though. I remember Flutie. What the illegal formation penalty? What the numbers? The structures of the numbers? Is that what it had to do with? I got that shirt too. So somewhere along the line, they struck by that. Now they went back to, wear whatever numbers you want. Yeah. Okay. All right. Then what's this other thing I saw here? Oh, this is pretty interesting. That is this. Some stuff like this. This is. I read this. This is pretty interesting. Kind of explains some things here. This is from Giants Wire. Who wrote this? Who is this here? Dan Benton. It was pretty cool. Now, of course, this article is from a couple days ago. It had to do with the waiver wire picks and all that stuff and everything. But a lot of it's pretty interesting. Where are we at here? It says there. Okay. It said a year ago, Shane and Giants made seven total waiver claims and were awarded 4 players: safety Jason Pinnock, yeah; Nick McLeod, yeah; Justin Lane, and Jack Anderson. So neither one, those last 2 aren't with us, but McLeod and Pinnock, especially Pinnock. Holy cow, off the waiver wire. Are you freaking kidding me? Are you freaking, and McLeod too? I mean, you kidding me? Waivers. Wow. And we just got our starting safety off the waiver wire from last year. Unbelievable. There's no doubt the Giants will do a little roster shuffling after the initial 53. So below is a look at the waiver order and several key rules to keep in mind over the next 24 to 36 hours. So this was back around, with when you had to get down to the final 53, and they wind up waiving all these players and everything like that. It says waiver wire rules. There's often confusion when it comes to the differences between players who have been waived, injured, cut, released, and had their contracts terminated. Yeah, that's a lot of that's sometimes it's got me scratching my heads. Players with less than 4 accrued NFL seasons are subject to waivers. Means you waive them and they go on the waiver wire, and one of the other teams can scoff them up. But they only have basically from Tuesday at 4:00 until Wednesday at 12:00. So basically, they only had like 20 hours to scoff these guys up. Let's see here. Any player with fewer than 4 accrued NFL seasons becomes subject to waivers for 24 hours and cannot sign with a team unless they go unclaimed. So they can't sign with another team if they go unclaimed. They can, that's why a lot of them went unclaimed. Some of them came back to the Giants, put them on a practice squad. To achieve an accrued season, a player must have full play status in a minimum of 6 games during an individual season. That's why a lot of it's very important for guys just to get to be dressed or whatever. Players who are waived, injured, are subject to traditional waiver rules. However, if they go unclaimed, they immediately revert to the team's injured reserve list. Those players can subsequently be released with an injury settlement and are not permitted to re-sign with the club that waived them for 6 weeks plus the duration of the agreed-upon injury settlement. Any player who is awarded to a team off of waivers is required to be placed on the guy's 53-man roster. So you just can't grab somebody off waivers. We'll stash this guy on the practice squad. No, you grab somebody off waivers, they got to go on your 53. Doesn't mean you have to dress them, because you can only dress 46 for the games, but they have to go on your 53. And there's no limit to how many waiver claims a team could put in. You can put in a ton, right? Injured reserve rules. Any player who is added to the injured reserve prior to the initial 53, okay, being set at 4:00 on Tuesday will miss the entire season. So that's why a lot of teams, the guy was injured, little nicked or something like that, sometimes, and he was going to miss a few games or something like that, right? That's why if they were going to put him on injured reserve, they would have to put him on initially get him on the 53, then put him on injured reserve. Then he'd have to miss 4 games, and then he can come back. But if you put him on injured reserve before the 53, his season's over with. Any player lands on injured reserve football injury list as of Wednesday at 4 or any date later must miss a minute of 4 games before they are permitted to return. So, they got to get to the 53, the initial 53. Then you can put them on an injured reserve, and then they just have to they can miss a minimum of 4 games, and you can bring them back. NFL teams can return up to 8 players from injury reserve during the regular season. So that's something else to remember too. So if you put whatever, if you want to put 10 guys on injury reserve, you can only bring 8 of them back. You just can't be bringing them all back. There's a limit. Not that 8, that's a lot. Bringing 8 guys back from injury reserve, but that's the limit. Then you have PUP, right? Physically unable to perform list. Any player who is added to the physically unable to perform list, the PUP list, prior to the start of training camp, all right, who sat out all of camp while on the PUP list is permitted to begin the regular season on the PUP list. Players on the PUP list do not count against the team's regular 53-man roster, and they must miss at least, same thing with the IR, must miss at least the first 4 games of the season. Now, once a player on the PUP list begins practicing, now the clock starts ticking. The team has 3 weeks, a 3-week window, all right, to determine whether or not to activate them. If after the 3 weeks is over, if the player is not activated during the window, they're required to miss the remainder of the season. So when you pull them off a PUP, right, the clock starts ticking. You got 3 weeks. Practice squad rules. See, I love this stuff, man. You learn so much from this stuff. I knew some of this stuff, but you know, some of it. The NFL teams are permitted to carry up to 16 players on the practice squad. Every player who becomes a free agent is eligible to join a team's practice squad, but there are rules for each category of eligible player, including practice squad limits. Right? Here's a breakdown from the 33rd team. They're very, very good. They're very, very informative, the 33rd team. Standard. A player must be a rookie or first-year man who has not earned an accrued season. 4 games on the 4 games on the active roster. If he has 1 or more years of accrued seasons, he's still eligible if he was not on the game day active list for 9 games in every year he earned an accrued season. All right, so some of the stuff I have to read like a couple times to really get it to sink in. Then there's an exception. A player who is eligible as an exception if he has 2 or fewer accrued seasons, even though he was active for 9 games in any of those 2 accrued seasons. All right. Team may have no more than 10 exceptions on their practice squad at any one time. Then there's veterans. Any player not covered as a standard eligible or exception eligible is considered a veteran. A club may have no more than 6 veterans on their practice squad at any one time. That's like if you have like a Cole Beasley. You can't have like 9 Cole Beasleys on your roster, on your practice squad. The team can sign 16 players filling out their practice squad who fall under the standard designation if they choose to. Okay. Practice squad salary. Here we go. This is interesting too. Practice squad salary are compensated on a scale system. Players who have accrued 2 or few NFL seasons are paid a fixed weekly salary every year through the expiration of the current CBA. So their weekly salary for this year is $12,000. Not too shabby. 2024, it's $12,500. 2025 is $13,000, and it goes all the way up to in the year 2030. All right, if you're on the practice squad, in 2030 you make $16,750 a week. So what would that be? 16, 30, close to almost $70,000 a month. That's not too bad to be on the practice squad. $70,000 a month. That's not too bad. So if you're on the practice squad for, just say 4 months, you'd be over $250,000. That's not bad. Veteran players with 3 or more accrued seasons have some negotiation rules. So they're veteran players, they have, let's see here. In 2030, there's some negotiations, right? So that in 2030, if a veteran player will make anywhere from $21,750 a week up to $26,250 a week. So if you're a veteran player like Cole Beasley, and it says it's 2030, he could make possibly like $25,000 a week on the practice squad. That's not too bad. Be on the practice squad, make what would that be, like $3,500 a day? That's not too bad. That ain't too shabby. $100,000 a month to be on the practice squad. Of course, you want to play and make millions. I get that and all. Now, of course, we had the waiver wire order. The current waiver wire order is determined by the 2023 NFL draft order. It was as follows: that the Giants wind up being number 26. So they were way down. So that's why it was really, really tough for them to, get, a lot of practice squad play. It was just. Because if somebody gets waived and it's like a red flag, like a Jalen Hyatt, there's like a red flag there, or something like that. There's like a good offensive tackle or cornerback or something like that. and he's sticking out like a sore thumb, like Jaylen was to Joe Shane in the draft. The teams at the top are going to get him. So that's why for the Giants to wind up, getting anybody, it would have been pretty tough for the Giants to get anybody in the waiver wire. But stuff like that's pretty interesting. I still got to read the stuff. Some of the stuff doesn't make much sense to me, but there's so many rules and all that and everything. Then I saw this article. This was interesting. Where are we at here? Oh boy, I lost it. How many quarterbacks who is this? Big Blue View. Who wrote that? Oh, Ed Valentine. He's very kind of low key, kind of mellow, kind of, he doesn't seem to get too excited. If you ever see him talking to Patty Train, he's always kind of like the same. He kind of talks like this, and he kind of, Patty, I think, well, I'm kind of, he's very like mono, he's, but very, very knowledgeable. He's been with the Giants for a long time and all that. So he's like, how many quarterbacks would you trade for Daniel Jones? Now, are there any quarterbacks out there that if you could, like, I don't know, Patrick Mahomes, would you take Daniel Jones and whatever, our next 2 first-round picks, give them to Andy Reid for Patrick Mahomes? Oh, yeah, I think some of us would. But Valentine, let's see. He said, quarterback Daniel Jones is always a subject of debate, a controversial player despite showing a vanilla public personality and never drawing attention to himself. Kind of like who? Well, not Eli Manning, right? No, right? Just kind of like Eli Manning. He's like Eli 2, coming soon to a theater near you, right? Big Blue View reader David Smith asked a simple question. How many current quarterbacks would you straight up trade for Daniel Jones? Well, you couldn't straight up trade Daniel Jones for Patrick Mahomes, and Ed Valentine said, I thought it was worth putting the question to Big Blue View staff. So as Ed Valentine answers this question, there's a couple other guys answer the question too. And said their answers and explanations. So Ed Valentine said it's not a very long list. So Ed Valentine seems to, think that we have a decent quarterback. He said he would trade Daniel Jones to get Josh Allen, Joe Burrow, Lamar Jackson, Trevor Lawrence, Patrick Mahomes, Justin Herbert, or Jalen Hurts. He said that's basically it. This is the list of annual MVP candidate quarterbacks who are in or not entering their prime. Some other players you would want about Dak Prescott, he says. He's had better talent around him. He's had a better offensive line. And in Ed Valentine's view, he's not better than Daniel Jones. Tua Tagovailoa, he's the injury concerns is horrible. And then, of course, he put Aaron Rodgers on here. He's too old. And he's like, I'll take the 26-year-old Jones for the long term. Yes, I mean, if you have Aaron Rodgers, you might have him for a couple of years and he might start declining. He puts Kirk Cousins in there. He's better than you think, but he's 35, and we have seen his best. Plus, Kirk Cousins has, how good do you think Daniel Jones would be if he had Justin Jefferson out there running around, right? How good do you think Daniel Jones would be? Well, pretty good. Yeah, I would be good if I had Jefferson out there running around, right? Just throw the ball anywhere down in the zip code, and he'll come down with it, right? Jared Goff, another quarterback who's better than you think, and he will turn 29 this season. Still, I'm taking Jones' upside. Justin Fields hasn't shown enough. Well, yeah, he had last season on a bad team, So Kyler Murray, and then after that he's like, be serious. Deshaun Watson, and he's like, no chance. Geno Smith, nice story, but he turns 33 this fall. Now the thing is with Geno Smith, nice, but once again. Look who he's throwing the ball to. He had a great season. But the thing is that's, hey, that doesn't mean he won't have a bad, he could have a great season this year too as well. It's just he's been in the league for a while. And I said, once again, doesn't mean he's going to be bad this season, right? He did very well last year. And of course, now he has 3 good receivers to throw the ball to since they drafted one high in the first round this year, right? So it means he might have another good season. But with Geno, he's been around for a while. If he was going to be a top 10 talent or top 5 talent, he had his chances. He even had his chances here with that Moron McAdoo, right? When he put him in the game, the snap Eli streak. And we for the one game against the Raiders, we lost, I think it was 24-17. Geno wasn't bad in that game, but he wasn't the answer. If Eli was in the game, we may not have won that game either. Eli, we had other issues other than the quarterback. Let's see. Then some guy here, who is it? Well, we got Tony Del Genio. He answered the question too. This is not the same question as where does Daniel Jones rank among the NFL quarterback. My answer today is near the bottom of the top 10 or just below. Let's see. His list of quarterbacks I'd trade straight up for is Patrick Mahomes, Josh Allen, Trevor Lawrence, Joe Burrow, Lamar Jackson, Justin Herbert. Then he goes, I won't go for Aaron Rodgers because of his age. I won't go for Jalen Hurts because he is Jones with a great offensive line and great receivers. Now, I looked this up because I can't stand the freaking Eagles. Not that I can't stand Jalen Hurts. He's looks like a fine, outstanding human being. He's a hell of an athlete, blah, 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 all that stuff and everything. But with unbelievable talent around him, he's got 2 Hall of Fame offensive. He's got the offensive line coach. I can never remember the guy's name. Is very good. Their offensive line is freaking phenomenal. They got a guy that their left tackle is like 17 foot 8 inches tall. I think they got him from like Australia or something like that. He was like a rugby player or something. They took a flyer on him, and he's like one of the best left tackles, and he's phenomenal. But I mean, with Kelsey and Johnson hasn't given up a sack at right tackle since Jesus Christ was on the walking the earth. And Kelsey's a phenomenal center. And 2 guys that are probably going to go in the Hall of Fame. And then you got, DeVonta Smith. Goddard's a solid, very solid targeted tight end. But then you got Brown. I mean, come on. Look at the talent he's got. So last year, with all of this talent, Jalen Hurts completed. Oh, that's his Russian stats. Right. I'm not saying Jalen had a horrible season last year. Absolutely not. But with all that talent, I'm going to get there. Here we go. Here are the stats. All right. I know I get there some year. Jalen Hurts completed 66.5% of his passes, 66.5. Daniel Jones, that's his Russian stats. There we go, 67.2. So with the worst offensive line, with worst talent receiver-wise, Daniel Jones completed more passing percentage. Daniel Jones had 15 touchdowns, 5 interceptions. Jalen Hurts, 22-6. You got to give the nod a little to Jalen there. He had a few more touchdown passes, but once again, the talent of receivers he had, and I said the offensive line is unbelievable. Daniel Jones. Okay, now let's pull it down here. There we go. Russian. Daniel Jones, 708 yards. Jalen Hurts had more. But we're going to go to an interesting stat here. Jalen Hurts, 760 yards. Jalen Hurts had more rushing yards. But Jalen Hurts had 165 rushing attempts. Daniel Jones, 120. Daniel Jones averaged 5.9 yards an attempt. Jalen Hurts, 4.6. Almost, well over a yard more. Now, to be a little fair, sometimes when the Eagles were beating the Giants 1,242,000-1, right? And the Eagles have the ball and they're running the clock out, right? Jalen Hurts takes the snap, takes a step back, takes the knee, right? So you got 1 carry for -1 yard. So you got to throw it. I'm sure there was a few of those in there, right? Got to give them that. But, with superior talent, this, that, and the other thing, I mean, Jalen Hurts, what was he? Let's not forget 2 years ago, all right, the Giants beat the Eagles. They scored 7 points with Jalen Hurts quarterbacking. What do you have? He had 16 touchdowns. He had 9 interceptions in his second season. He's very decent with the ball, decent throwing the ball. I mean, interception-wise and all that. But, would I trade him for Daniel Jones? No. I mean, I'm not saying Daniel Jones is far superior or whatever to Jalen Hurts. But, kind of the same. Oh, what do we got? Gina, Lamar, Joe Burrow. Yes, Josh Allen, but it's a complete. Well, I'll tell you what, it's going to be interesting to see what Josh Allen does this season. I mean, if you start looking, let's pop him up here real fast there. Spell his name easy. All right, here we go. Let's go Pro Football Reference. Yeah, because I can always read and relate to all that stuff. But obviously the man's got a gun. With 13-3 last year, just freaking ridiculous. 63% passing. Daniel Jones, 67. Now, to be fair, because we don't have Stephon Diggs out there running around, right? Stuff like that. It's like we're trying to bring out the best in Daniel Jones. We don't go deep a lot. We get a lot of shorter passes and all, so I get that. But, he's got to hit 35 touchdowns. Hard to overlook that. But he had 14 interceptions. He had 15 in 2021, And I know I don't remember how many fumbles he had last year. But, he's turning the ball over. Does it say there? Rushing, receiving, fumbles. There we go, fumbles. He had 13 fumbles last year. Not necessarily fumbled the ball away, but he fumbled the ball 13 times. So he fumbled at 13. Maybe didn't lose all 13, obviously, but he had 13 and 14 interceptions. So, be interesting to see, what he winds up doing now that Dable's gone. Does his, what would you say, his turnovers, stay up there? Do they get, does he start getting a little bit better? We got Danny's not elite, but good enough. When Levis was dropping, I actually wouldn't have been mad if we selected him. Oh, yeah. Well, because you need, you definitely need. Oh, sorry, Rainey. There goes my dog. He's gone. He's done with this. He's done with the Giants for today. But Will Levis, you need, a backup quarterback. That wouldn't have been bad. Take a flyer on him. If worse comes to worse, can you get Levis to be your backup quarterback? Right? Oh, he's gone. He's gone. Well, he's been here for an hour, so he's laying there for an hour. So his attention span only lasts about an hour. But you look at it, and then you start looking at. You even look like Kyler Murray. He's making more than Daniel Jones. He's making like 46 or something, somewhere around. So you start looking at things. Once Joe Burrow signs a new contract, once Herbert signs a new contract, once Lawrence signs, we got a couple more years for Lawrence, but once those guys start signing some contracts, then you start looking, wow, Daniel Jones is only $40 million. It's like, damn, that's pretty good. So-and-so is, what's Hurts, 55 or something? It's like, but I'm saying, when Burrow, right? Murray has all the tools, seems to his maturity. Yeah. The thing, I was just like, and I don't go way out of my way to just, I got to find out what's going on in every team in the NFL. I don't have time for that. But the one thing was that I kind of struck me a little funny was they put in Kyler Murray's, his new contract, he has to, something along the lines. He has to watch more film or something like that. So that's kind of like along the lines of kind of what you're saying there. If he puts it together, watch out. But yeah, but is he? Is he going to? And let's not forget, he's got tools and but he's had some good wide receivers to throw the ball to. It wasn't D-Hop down there. Wasn't some guy named Larry Fitzgerald down there. Right? He's had some good wide receivers. Zach Ertz, right? At his end of his career. Green, right? He had some good wide receivers to throw ball. Daniel Jones didn't have OBJ down there. Right? So he's had some good wide receivers to throw the ball to. Parcells would say the light has not come on. Nope. Yeah. I mean, somebody needs to, whatever, I don't know. Yeah. He needs to be visited by a couple ghosts in the middle of the night or something like that. I mean, maybe he will, maybe he won't. I don't know. I mean, he's got money. Yeah. I mean, just, I don't know. It just seems, he doesn't seem, I don't know. I mean, I said he's got some nice tools and all. Can he ever turn it around? I don't know. And it'll be also be kind of interesting to see too, because a lot of times it's adversity. What do you do with adversity? Well, he's got some adversity now. His team's not very good. They're going to start counting on him to, maybe put the team on his back and maybe pull a couple of victories out this season, because they're not expected to do much of anything. So, if the talent around him is not exactly, fantastic, what can he do? Like, coaching sucks. Yeah. Well, I mean, that's unfortunate too. I mean, if you're in a bad situation, you're kind of stuck. You're kind of stuck. But I don't expect much from the Cardinals this year. But which is good for the Giants, because hopefully when we play them, hopefully we get ourselves a win. And if we can beat the Cowboys and we go out and we play the Cardinals and beat the Cardinals, we start off 2-0. That doesn't mean we're going to the playoffs or Super Bowl, but that wouldn't be bad. So then if we were to lose to the 49ers, we'll still be 2-1. We're coming home, right? We've had the 2 primetime games right away. We're 2-1 at least, right? If we can either beat the Cowboys or the 49ers, get a victory out of one of those two, that would be huge. That would really, really be huge, The coach is a new guy, So I mean, hopefully we can beat hopefully we can beat the Cardinals this year. That would be good. Because last time we played them, I think they came here and they wound up beating us. So wasn't very, very pretty. All right, guys. Well, it's been 1 hour and 7 minutes. I think we're almost into a new. A new record territory here. 1 hour and 7 minutes. I'll be back again tomorrow. Try to find some more stuff to talk about. So as always, Jersey guys and Terrence, good talking to you guys as always. We'll be back again to do it again all tomorrow night. All right. So whoever spent any time listening to me live, thank you. Or if anybody spends any time watching the replay of this, once again, thank you so much from the bottom of my heart. As always, you guys stay safe out there and go Giants. Woo! Oh yeah.